My name is Ben with Building Code Tips, and I'm going to walk you through what my average day is like as a building inspector. I've been an inspector now for 9-10 years. Been doing it long enough, I guess I'm starting to forget how many exact years it is, but somewhere in that range. I've been a building/plumbing inspector, but I'm also certified in mechanical, and I'm certified building official, and certified as a plans examiner, and all kinds of certifications to kind of set myself up for different avenues if I decide to move up or take a different position within the world of plan review and inspections and building departments. But my average day, what's my average day like? I cannot complain. For myself, I like to be out, I like to help people, and I get to do just that. So my day starts off, because of COVID, I get to start off working at home. In the past, before pre-COVID, we would go down to the office and all the inspectors would get together and we'd have a phone in front of us and we would take off messages. Everybody who wants an inspection would call in and they would leave all their information and what type of inspection they wanted, and we would write it down and map our day out and go out and do those inspections. As technology has gotten a little bit better, and like I said, due to COVID, I'm able to do everything I need to off of this phone. And so I have an app on my phone. Every time someone calls and leaves a message for an inspection that they're looking for, I get an email. I can listen to that email, see what it is that they need, and either schedule that inspection, or if they're just looking for a question, I can make that phone call. So every morning I get up, I take off all my messages that I see in my emails, I make those phone calls, I hop in the car, and I head out, to my territory. For some building departments or some jurisdictions, you might only do like residential. Some of you might only do plumbing or just electrical or mechanical. I do building and plumbing for my area. And so I have an area that is, our city's broken into like quadrants, and I do anything that's related to building and plumbing. So it could be anything from building a huge mall or a stadium down to someone putting a bathroom in their basement. Doesn't really matter. But that's the areas that I cover and the parts that I would cover. Between doing inspections, a lot of times I will be making phone calls, right? Somebody's contractors calling or homeowners calling. They're like, hey, what do I do here? What do I need here? And so I'll be making phone calls in between my different stops throughout the day. I'll also be taking off calls for the next day, which brings me to like, how often do people call? I know like where I live, the county that I live in, I think they want an inspection call in like 2 or 3 days before you want it. Where I work, we do same day inspections. So as long as someone calls before 8:30 on the day they're looking for an inspection, we'll go out there and do it. So a little bit difference on scheduling and organizing your day. But our day at 8:30, we quit taking calls. We schedule out our inspections. We try to route whatever's the quickest route. We'll try to offer like AM or PM inspections. And then we'll try to go out there and provide good customer service, keep people's projects moving. Sometimes it can be hard to stay on top of all that, not get overwhelmed. There's definitely days where you want to wring someone's neck because they just don't understand a concept, or they're doing work without a permit and you're trying to help them out, or this or that. But in general, most people in the construction world are just good, nice people, and it's awesome to be out there with them, helping them work through a project. Helping them get it done safely and correct. So it's not only there for them or for whoever their client is, but it's there for whoever's going to use it years down the road. And so, yeah, in a nutshell, that is my day. Take off my calls, call people back, provide good customer service, get my inspections done, and then I get to kind of start it over the next day. The beauty of it is it's not always the same, right? Every inspection has its own little nuances. Every inspection's a little bit different. Some of it might be repetitive, as in I might go to one place and just look at some steel studs. And it's like, pretty simple. You put the walls where you're supposed to put them. You put your screws in. But then you might end up at a house on a simple bathroom install, but you're in there helping the homeowner with where the fittings go and where you should put your vents and what size vents you should put in, and just trying to help them through the project, right? Keep them moving. And so that's the beauty of it. The downside is, when the office calls and says, hey, we need you to go do a stop work, or we need you to go do some investigation on some possible work without a permit. Those get thrown in there, and inevitably there's always those who do work without a permit, and sometimes they get caught. And so we have to go out there, and fortunately I have to be the one in my area to go issue that stop work and explain to them that they, probably are going to need a permit, and they may have to open up some walls, and so I can visually inspect what kind of work they did so that we know that it's safe and it'll pass inspection. So I hope this helps everybody out. If you're out there just kind of curious about life as a building inspector, for myself, that in a nutshell is my typical day. It could be a little bit different wherever you're at. I feel like the fact that I kind of work from home and work from my phone might be a little bit off the norm, and that's just kind of how it ended up with COVID. I know that like the county, where the city is that I work, I think they still come into the office. They drive city rigs, and so they have to drop them off and pick them up every day, and they have a place to actually park. The city that I work for, they don't have any parking, so I think they prefer that they keep us out of there, so we're not taking up whatever parking spots they have. So it's maybe a formality or a perk based on the fact that we don't have a lot of parking spots. So if you're catching this video here to the end, thanks for watching it through, and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate the support. I know there's quite a few of you out there that have been looking at the world of inspection, and again, I hope this helps you out and keeps you moving.